Talohani. Pacifica Wire is proud to bring you its first podcast for 2021. Tofilao Bernadette Pereira is the National President for Pacifica Inc., Pacific Allied Women's Council and Ideals Concerning All. Tofilao has been at the helm of the organisation for the past 4 years. She talks to PW about the importance of Pacifica Inc. and the role it has played supporting Pacifica women across Aotearoa, New Zealand for more than 40 years. She talks about the impact of COVID-19, policy, women in governance, and what lies ahead for the future of Pacifica Inc.
Talo Falava Malosoi for Manuia Gladys Olo'une Tangata. I'm Tofilao Bernadette Pereira, and I am the National President for Pacifica Inc. This is my last term, and when the conference meets in April of 2021 in Christchurch, this is when the new guard will hopefully be introduced, voted in, elected, and then it's business going forth for the organization of Pacifica.
Tofilao, we made it to 2021. What a year 2020 was, if I can just quickly ask you upon reflection, for Pacifica Inc., what was 2020?
It's been really tough, I think is a simple word that comes to mind. It's been such unprecedented times, as you know, economically, spiritually, and of course, more so for our Pacifica women and their families. As you know, also that during that time as well, there's quite a lot of work that was done behind the scenes in terms of our organization linking to our membership, just to reassure our membership and to follow steadfastly the messages from our government who were leading the mahi, or rather the work in terms of making sure that our population were safe and that they were looking after themselves and so forth. So our role during that time as an executive was primarily to make sure that the channels continued to open, and we were fortunate to resort to, social media, through Facebook, through our website, and also had the opportunity to connect through meetings electronically, on Zoom, where the executive met constantly so that we were able to keep a tab of what was happening with our movement throughout the motu. And we were also able to consolidate a request that went out to the Ministry for Social Development, who was spearheading a lot of support towards organizations, towards our communities, towards our nation and people who were actually being badly impacted by the consequences of COVID-19. And so we were able to get resources, support that allowed us as an executive to reach to our membership, and this time really focusing on the women and their families and where they were at, and providing just a short-term support for families that were struggling primarily to get food on the table, as a lot of our women were also lost jobs during that time. So there was a lot of anxieties and a lot of stress.
Yes.
And so our part was to try to really make sure that we were connected and that our families were being reassured, keep following the messages and listen out for what is happening, both from government, but also locally and from our own communities, health services in the community. Look, I think it would be unwise of us not to recognize that because as on the one end of the scale, we are pushing through the advocacy, because how else? We measure the success of where we're at and our impact through those that have come through and have made it in life and have made careers, Then on the other hand, that's why the organization exists. It's for that very fact that you mentioned, because not many women identify with Pacifica. Not many women of Pacifica descent know of Pacifica. Not many women are aware that, there is this forum. But also women who are just women, I would say, women who, for whatever the circumstances are, they're there because of the circumstances. We recognize that. And I think it has always been, that's the other part of the role of Pacifica, is to make sure that we do not lose sight of where we've all come from and where we've all, and those that have been left behind. Now, it's really hard, as I said to you, because we are not a social provider per se. But however, we still do support through the work that we do. It's that connection where they're becoming the conduit. That's why we become the voice, is so that we can articulate the conditions and the realities of those that have fallen through the cracks. And I think I'll be the first to say there's no way that I can say that I, can speak on behalf of, because that's no longer it shouldn't be. We are in fact, we're like you become I don't even like to use the word the catalyst, but you have just to make sure that the women become aware, that you have an empathetic and compassion, outlook on those that have missed out. But you work with them closely, or you refer them on to people that it'll be safe, and that the conditions and the plight of those that have fallen are being realized. They need to come to the attention of those that are making policies and those that have the resources, So we I think that's the fine line. So because I do not agree when people say, "Oh, I speak on behalf of Pacific Women," or "I speak on." We do not really. We can only speak on behalf of yourself, really, to begin with.
Yeah.
And on behalf of the experiences that you have gone through yourself. But you cannot try and take over and speak on behalf of those that have not spoken. But your job is to try to ameliorate, is to provide the platform, is to advocate for those voiceless to come forth.
Tofilau Bernadette Pereira, the National President for Pacific Women's National Organisation, Pacifica Inc., joining us on Pacifica Wire. Thanks for joining us. You can find the full version as a podcast on Spotify. Visit our website at www.pacificawire.com and check out our social media links at the top of the page. Whawhitai, ma ia manawia.